Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dr. Mack.
Good afternoon, Pastor Shirley. And how
I'm
are you today?
I am great. So happy to see you today. We have some more great topics to discuss today, and like you always say, you want everybody to listen, but they form their own opinion about our points of view. They can have their
Right.
own point of view today, but the Mother's Board is discussing some great topics as usual today. Dr. Mack, if it's not an imposition, which I know it's not, would you please pray us in, and then you will pray us out too, or else you could do the prayer that you
it prayer is always welcome.
tried.
I do look at it as as a definition as my communication with the Heavenly Father.
Oh
So,
yes.
Heavenly Father, we thank you today for all the things that you've given us that we understood, and for all of the quiet blessings that you bestowed on us that we weren't even aware that we were being blessed. We ask, Father, that you help us not to become angry and resentful and vengeful, or even decide to judge others. And we ask that we say nothing or do things that would cause add to the kind of the mood of the country. We also pray for the family of Mayshawn Keelan, who was one of the younger members of the Dallas Cowboys, um, whose life was taken by himself. And we ask that the media give his family the privacy that they are asking for. If they choose to make statements, fine. If they don't, fine. We ask these and many blessings in your name. Amen.
Amen. So wonderful. Yes, that is always news like that is really heartbreaking, and that's why like you prayed today. God told us to always pray and not faint because we don't know what other people are going through because we have our own set of things
Right.
going on in our lives. So, but we do pray for each other, and that was such a wonderful prayer, Dr. Mack. And we're going to get into what you want opening comments.
Well, we thank you for joining us today, and we hope we say something. We're prayerful that we say something that will cause you to examine your own thoughts and the thoughts of those that you choose to share it with. For us, the sharing of the information is very important because the person with whom you're speaking uh, may not have thought of any of this, but um, we are not lobbyists and we're not politicians. Uh, we're just two ladies sharing the information and hoping that you go with it.
And I concur.
I concur. Oh, no, you
Dr. Mack,
didn't.
Dr. Mack speaks. I concur with what she's saying today. Yes,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Mack. And I'm just so happy that we are here together. And I apologize again for my camera not being on, but you have an avatar, my picture up there to
Yes.
everyone that's watching. So thank you all for being here with us, and we have some great discussion topics. So you feel free. Don't be apprehensible about or apprehend. How am I saying that right? About
Yes.
being here and giving your take on what we're talking about. We want to hear from you. It,
Yes.
m- yes, we want to hear from you. So give us your opinions, your point of view, your input on what we're talking about today. So the first one is the term cruel has been used to describe the statements made by the president with reference to the withholding of SNAP benefits to those who are in need of them. Do you agree with this assessment? Well, I agree with it, the assessment of him being cruel. And like you were saying in the prayer, I think it was in your prayer, Dr. Mack, you mentioned people who are not. have not never experienced not having food to eat or enough food to eat or shelter or any of that, and they don't understand, but then they make statements and they seem to be unaffected emotionally about the trials and the troubles of other people. So cruel to me is a good word.
I saw it as I was going through and reading. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. That this particular reporter used the word cruel because you know the 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 judicial department. We had two judges who
Mhm.
said that you need to give them the full allotment of snaps, and then you have from the White House saying maybe we can do it. Given enough time, we can give a partial portion of that. But a judge again said today we're talking about the full allotment because you don't your excuse of having to check with someone, you have the authority to do that. And he didn't say it, but it's implied, and I agree. Don't use this as a political situation. And I
Right.
think that's what is happening
Of
here.
course.
Yeah, if I withhold it long enough, people are going to be angry enough. They're going to force the situation. I don't like bullies, and I know you don't like bullies.
No,
you know,
ma'am.
um, you can't. When things are bad, they can only get worse. But if you put your hands on the railing and you know God is watching, He's not going to let it go that badly. But what is happening? Well,
Mhm.
we've got communities and we've got other agencies, nonprofit agencies, who are doing their best to fill the gap in. And I'm really not worried about the Thanksgiving dinner, you know, because I was taught the Lord will provide.
Yes.
There's always a ram in the bush.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I agree. I think it's
Yes.
cruel, and I don't think anyone is blinded by that. I don't think anyone missed that. You know,
Right.
not at all. You just you don't. If it's part of what you are, then that's a part you need to work on. You know,
Yes.
being because that's what it is. It's bullying because I have the power, as you like to say, Pastor Shirley. I
Uh-huh.
do this. You always associate that character trait, power, with
Mhm.
the, but it's a lot of people, and it's just well, I'm. The judicial phrase, cruel and inhuman.
Mhm.
There's no need for this.
Yeah. And also, what he's saying here, they're still trying to pressure the Democrats into doing something, succumbing to the Republicans, and he said he's not going to release them despite the court's orders until the Democrats vote uh, in favor of the Republicans' plan to open up the government.
Again,
And so, it's just, yeah, it is cruel, but it's who the person is. He's never shown us anything different.
and that's one of the things I wonder about. How did people miss that? Because it was obvious to me all the way through. But you're hurting people, and
Mhm,
this is not acceptable. You know, I love
mhm,
history, and the
mhm,
phrase "let them eat cake" does not even apply here. There is
mhm,
no cake to be eaten.
mhm,
You have nothing. You can't go to the store. You don't have that. And I
right.
think people are at the point now is we're not choosy about what food stuff. We just need food stuff. We
Mhm,
have kids to feed.
mhm,
We have senior citizens to feed. You know, we have federal workers who were cut off by Doge. Who
mhm,
are in food lands. We have federal workers who have been furloughed.
mhm,
So
mhm. And I want to add this too, that uh, the food banks, they are taking donations, monetary donations also. And if for $25, you can feed 75 people. And so I just wanted to put that in there. And then
That's
for
good.
$10, it might be around 50, 40, something like that. But by donation, you can feed so many people. And they have lost millions of dollars where they could have bought their produce.
Right.
But now they're short on the money. But I just wanted to put that in there. There's North Texas Food Bank, and then there are other places. And our representative for District 30, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, has on links her site, her newsletter, in her newsletter, where we people can go and get assistance on bills and food and things like that. So I just wanted to add that in there. And aren't
That's good
you in
information.
our district?
I'm sorry, Pastor Shirley.
Are you in our district?
I don't think so. I have to
I
look
didn't
at look at my little card, and I can tell you.
know she has some of these.
But I do think it's a good thing for her to do for the
Uh-huh.
persons who are there.
Right, and so
She's talking about her constituency.
right, so we have there are places that are
Right.
offering assistance, and then of course some of the churches that or they have food at certain times. So if we just call around and see people, you could probably find somewhere. If you need food or assistance with your bills, you can find out where you can go and apply for some help because their funds are running low too. But it does not hurt to try to, to contact the people, see if they can give you some help. In the meantime, like Dr. Mack just prayed, we are going to be praying for each and every one along with praying for ourselves.
Right.
Yes, so
Right.
I just want to say that North Texas Food Bank, they're still giving it, and if you can, anyone that doesn't need any food and if you can afford to uh, give a monetary donation, they would appreciate it. Not just North Texas, but that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Right. That's the one
Mhm.
that serves the area where I am. And
Right.
I am really proud of the churches. Some of them are what I like to call, big churches, mega churches, as it were.
Yes.
And some of them are just what I call neighborhood churches, and
Yeah.
they're pulling out the one. It just made my heart feel good. Um,
Hmm.
she said the lady said, "Well, we're giving baskets," and the other lady came on behind her and, from the same church, and she said, "Girl, those are not baskets; those are cardboard boxes." Point is, you're getting it full of food, and
Right.
they're even putting meat, several
Yes.
pieces of meat in there. But I don't
Right.
think you care whether it's a box or a basket. It's something that holds the food for you to carry away. And
Right.
this is
And
a very big church, but I appreciate the effort.
yes, ma'am. And another thing, my thing is there is plenty of food here in the United States of America. But politics play a big role in stifling the distribution because they're playing around with people's lives and trying to prove points to each other. But we have so much food. As a matter of fact, some people don't are not able to give all of that food away, and some of it ruins.
Yes, but it shouldn't be ruining now because
Hopefully
the
not.
need the need is great. The need is the hour is late and the need is great.
Oh
But we
yes,
just have to hold on. We have to
yes,
hold
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yes, so everybody, okay. So we'll go on to the next one. But I just wanted to add that in there. We want to add
on.
that and say
Appreciate
there
that.
is assistance, there is help somewhere. So, I like this one too. Why do you believe that the Republicans decided to blow Trump off after their breakfast meeting at the White House earlier this week? All right, Dr. Mack.
Well, I had to take it from the way it was written in the article. But because the idea was to go nuclear, you know, to sort of kill the filibuster so that, he could get the things that he wants, because
Mm-hmm.
he has the numbers. But then you had, and I was really pleased, multi-age senators, and House persons who understand that you don't want to, get rid of that filibuster. I think the last 3 or 4 presidents have tried to get rid of it, but it's their power play, the
Right.
filibuster. All of us remember Ted Cruz reading the bedtime story to his children. We won't ever forget that. but you're gonna have to say he doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
That's their power. To me, that's their biggest power weapon
Mm-hmm.
there is. It's even more important than the vote to me.
Mm-hmm.
But he, this is the disadvantage of having someone who has governmental knowledge, someone who, it's good to have the independent knowledge, but you also
Mm-hmm.
need to know something about the workings of the government.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we go back to it every week. There are 3 branches of government, and somehow we just can't, when we move up on the hill there, we forget. We just think there's only one. So
Mm-hmm.
they're about to blow, give away their secret weapon, as it
Mm-hmm.
were.
Right. And that filibuster works for both sides.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and they realize that too. If we do away with it when we need it, we won't have it.
That's right. And
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind this, the party that's in power will not always be the
In
party in
in
power.
power. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
And
we
they
we
know.
were we were kids. We used to use the phrase "what goes around comes around." You
Uh,
know, we were just being cute. We didn't understand it, but I do now. I understand it very well
uh,
now. So,
yes, ma'am. So yeah,
so
they're and then also they're realizing that his the years are going by where he's they got him a lame duck.
yeah, he is a lame duck. He is
The lame duck.
unless they figured out some way to get him back in there again. Remember, he stopped talking about that, and I'm like one of my favorite commentators. When he gets quiet, he's dangerous.
Up
You
to
know,
something.
that's right.
Up
You
to
know,
something. But
we realize this.
yeah, because you know how we do when the children get real quiet in the house
Let
or
me go
they're
in and
somewhere,
check. Let
they're
me
too
go check.
quiet.
Let me go check.
Yes, because they're up to something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh yes. So they let me see. What was okay. Was that it?
Yes, on that.
Okay. All right. No, what do you think the governor meant when he stated that he would charge a tariff on any persons moving from New York to Texas? He's that dude is
Yep,
he
yep.
is something else. First place, it's illegal. He cannot and talking about a 100% tariff. Now, and through the Constitution, that's the only way the state can impose a tariff on anybody from another state. So he's just making a statement, but still, we should not take it lightly
Oh
because
no,
today anything goes. We see that.
right,
We see that.
right.
So it's a political statement rather than a policy. And so
Right.
after the mayoral race, he stated because he's mad, he upset. He
Definitely
upset,
upset.
and he
We're
said,
sorry.
"Yeah, 100% tariff on anyone moving here from there." So
Yeah,
those
it was
kinds of
very
tariffs
specific.
are illegal.
Yeah.
Like I said, only Congress has the power through the U.S. Constitution to impose or approve that.
I agree with you, and I think more than anything, we're following the footsteps of in his case, his fearless leader. You
Uh-huh.
know, because
Yes.
that was not supposed to happen, and it did.
It.
So
Oh
be,
yeah.
be like the rest of us. You this has happened. Let's figure out a way to live with it. But I'm very thankful I'm not in New York at the time, at this time, or any time really. But yeah, it's political. It's just political play. But
Yes.
again, take it seriously.
That's right.
Stranger things have happened here
That's right.
lately.
Look, just what they that now they have minority power in a majority minority state.
Right,
So they just took the power, took those seats and all of that, but that's still in the courts, so we'll see how that plays out.
right.
Okay, so he- oh, you did comment
No, I
on
was just I was just thinking about the phone call to redistrict, and he just did it, no questions asked.
it?
So
Right,
you never know, This is
right,
our governor.
right.
Yes, I was trying to find something good he did this week, and I couldn't.
Uh-huh,
But I know he did something.
uh-huh. And the proposition was a 14.
Yes, I am delighted that it passed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, It's
Yeah.
okay. I'm all for taking care of babies and all of that, but I'm also aware that the population of the United States, but particularly of these people in the state of Texas, we're aging, and if Alzheimer's, dementia, any of those brain-related diseases um, can be research in a logical manner because we know we aren't going to the CDC anymore until
Mhm.
that person is no longer there. But if the state can do what they did for cancer, they did so much cancer research in the state of Texas
Mhm.
with the dementia situation, Alzheimer's situation, that would be great because
Right.
as long as we're living, we're still aging. And we're going to need to come up with some new things that will help people with that. Uh, and to clarify some of the information that's already out there. I'm really excited about Proposition 14.
Oh yes. I I read it and listened to it. I said that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Finally, it's right.
Yes. And see what people don't understand is they are aging too.
Right.
The ones that imposing all these unfair uh, laws and acts and all that kind of stuff, they are in the group too, and they will be affected.
Yes. When Ken Paxton's trial was going on and it was being covered live, I
Hmm.
looked at the persons there. Now, you're right. They're aging too,
Yes.
so they should want something, you know, to be done. And,
Right.
and I know they'll publish it when it is done.
Yes.
And maybe, Tom Brady can afford $50,000 to clone his favorite dog who died in 2023.
Mm.
We no
Mm.
regular people are nowhere close to that.
Yeah.
We do want help, and help and assistance with Alzheimer's. My mom didn't have it, but my mother-in-law did. So it takes a toll not just on the person, but the family and
Mm.
all of that that's around it. It's
So
it's not,
true.
it's not a kind disease at
No,
all.
it's not. It's not at all. All right. Thank you so much. Now, as the lame duck president, what did his reaction uh,
Oh yeah.
to the Republicans' defeat in the midterms tell you about his character? Did you see the same character? Let me see. In his remarks about the death of Vice President Cheney and the retirement of Nancy Pelosi. Well, I, according to what I have heard, he didn't make any public. He hasn't made any public comments. Now his media person did, said something, and then of course the flags were, flown at half mast. But I haven't heard any public statement about from him about Cheney.
Um, and I thought that was odd. I agree with you. I thought it
Mhm.
was odd because Cheney was his, wasn't he? He was with Bush though. Who was
Right,
Cheney
but
with?
he's Republican. Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Well, I know he hates Cheney's daughter Liz because
Oh,
she was
yeah.
part of the investigation, and Cheney did say he was voting for Harris in the last election. So that made him very angry. And he called Pelosi, quote unquote, an evil woman. You
And
know,
said, yeah, said,
anyone who doesn't agree is an evil, and at least he used evil. Usually he uses the word bad, B-A-D, something I'd expect a third grader to use. But I think as a statesman and a leader, you whether you like them or not, you still need to say something because they did contribute to the history of the United States.
yeah,
You
and
know,
he said,
revenge politics can't be all that you do. You know,
and yeah, and he said she's a lousy leader, but Nancy Pelosi
yes,
held her ground.
yes, she did,
She held her ground, and
whether
she
you liked her or not.
right, and so that's the thing. So anybody that stands up against a certain person, they are evil and they are low IQ and they are lousy at their job and all of that. So we're used to that now.
But what kind of what are we what kind of message are we sending to the younger persons or the persons who just follow? Because it's easier to follow than to make a decision. What
Right.
what kind of message are we sending?
Well, the same one has been sitting in for the last 20 years. And but the young people, and it's up to the parents if they're underage and if they're in school to teach these children that certain actions are not acceptable, they are wrong. So it's up to the younger people, like the ones that are in school and they're under their parents' care now. We have to teach them that these actions and things against mankind are not right. We're supposed to love each other. We're supposed to care for each other. We're supposed to want the best for everyone. We're supposed to want everybody to be able to eat, to have a place, have shelter, a place to live, and clothing, and everything that everybody else is supposed to have. So it's up to the parents to teach the younger ones, and then the ones who are out and they have been influenced by some of the hate rhetoric and all of that. What we have to do is just continue to pray. And I know prayer works and it will change a person's heart. You don't have to know them, you don't have to say anything to them, but they're like now, there's a turnaround happening.
Yes, there
There's,
is.
and
But
and and I've
question,
tell you,
questioning their actions. Yes, there is, especially among this young group, this young adult group.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so we see by these last elections that some people's minds have turned from negative to positive, depending on what side of you're on. But anyway, some changes have been made. Some very should I say critical
Yes,
change.
yes.
Very important changes have been made, and people are feeling it now. They're feeling it now. Oh yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, he said she's evil and she did a lousy job, but we all know better. So that's why we have to think for ourselves and we have to form our own opinions and we have to go by the work that people did, not just because somebody said that they didn't do this and they didn't do that. Let the work speak for itself. Ella Davis would say, let the record speak for itself.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Yes,
Excellent.
ma'am.
Yeah. Or the word, or the phrase that let the work that I've done speak
Speak
for
for
me.
me. Yes, ma'am.
And that sometimes you have to be careful how you apply it, because in this particular case, it would not be a good response. Because what have you done? And what is it? What have you done for me lately?
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, but
Mhm.
it does tell you a lot about the person. It does,
Yes.
especially in death. I mean, um, uh, Cheney. They when they gave brief eulogies of Cheney, they did not leave out the fact that you know this war that we fought for so many years was really based on information that was turned out to be false. There were no weapons of
Well,
mass
of
destruction,
mass destruction. Right.
and they
Right.
didn't leave that out when they were
Mhm.
talking about. As they say, he wasn't whitewashed. They're not doing that. They're simply saying this is what happened, but he did do this, and
Mm.
he did shoot a hunting companion. And I
Oh,
thought at
yeah.
the time I would never go hunting with him, you know, because I don't look like a deer. I don't think, but it's it would be interesting. But he was a statesman,
Mm.
regardless of everything else. He was a statesman.
Right. And we're not laughing because he shot the
Oh,
person.
no. No,
We're
no.
laughing at the what's the concept of the
Yes.
of
Well,
it.
we laughed at the time,
Right.
when it occurred, because I don't think he did it on purpose. I'm pretty sure he didn't.
And so we
But
want everybody to we're not laughing because
oh
somebody
no,
got
no,
shot.
no, no.
We just want to
No.
reiterate that. No, we don't want anybody to get shot or anything, but the
Yes.
circumstances, and then at the time, like you said, people were making jokes about it and all of that.
So, and those were the days when they didn't fire you from the network for making the jokes.
Right, right. And then something happened with Ann Richards.
I'm sorry.
Ann Richards, because she was a
She was a hunter. She
yes,
dove hunting, quail hunting, and all of that.
right.
Yeah,
And
she
I'm
did.
trying to think if something happened with her.
Um,
I can't think of, but I'll have to look that up because I just thought about that because she was a hunter herself.
yes,
Ann Richards.
and well, she was in essence the last female governor we've had.
Hmm.
Has there been anyone else? I don't think there's been
Not
another
yet.
female governor between Ann Richards and I don't really see anyone on the ticket right now that's gonna.
Hmm.
I don't think anyone's gonna unseat Abbott until he's ready to go up to a higher position. I think
Yeah.
he's ingrained, sort of like Ted Cruz. I
Uh,
don't see anybody beating him either. Although Miss Crockett thinks, she said that she could, and I'm pretty sure she might.
who?
Ted Cruz, Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Jasmine.
It'll
Yep.
be, it will be an interesting race.
Oh, yes. So, yes. So, next, in your opinion, do you believe that the airport traffic involving the air traffic controllers and the TSA agents are part of the current shutdown? I do.
Okay.
Because both are essential workers. They're forced to work without pay, so they can't legally strike. But some are not showing up for work because they haven't been paid. And so that causes, the slowdown and everything. And then that causes them to have to make adjustments like they're doing with the flights now to cut back on some of the flights in order to be able to control the air situation and all of that. So, yeah, I believe it has it's directly
It,
involved in the shutdown.
I was thinking of Pete Buttigieg, who was the last Secretary of Transportation, and I wondered how he would have handled this. Um, I agree with you. It's all part of it. And again, it's one of those, when you can't go where you want to go, it's
Mhm.
very maddening. And then
Mhm.
to work week after week with no pay is very maddening. Even if they are bringing you your lunch, you're still having to get to work, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
And those who have families, you're leaving families at home, and you know they're in some of these food lines. But this was a problem before. We were short air traffic controllers. We were, uh,
Yes.
which was brought out in a profound statement when the plane crashed at Reagan uh, National. With all
Yes.
the skaters, figure skaters on it. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
but let's again try to make the situation better, not worse. And I do, I understand safety. You know, you don't have enough people, and I would be reluctant to fly at this point because
Mm-hmm.
some of these people are tired. They're double shift, and some of them are quietly angry, and that's just human. That's just human. I'm working, and you won't pay me, and you won't allow me to strike. You won't allow me to just stay home. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Right.
I'm a federal worker, so I have to come to work, pay or no pay.
Right. And it's so sad because this doesn't have to be. It's all political, and they're playing like we continue to say, we know they're playing with people's lives.
Yes.
Now that is evil, and that is cruel.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
cruel.
evil, and
I'm
that
going
is
back to my
cruel.
cruel word. That's cruel.
Right. Yes,
Do
ma'am.
something quickly to try and fix the situation. You know, my mom used to say, if you're going to keep complaining about that, then you need to turn around here and tell me what you think would fix the situation.
Right.
And that stopped me from complaining a lot. You know,
Yes.
because all of a sudden I couldn't talk about them and they. She didn't ask about them and they. She asked me what would I do, if I had the power to do it, to,
Right.
to fix it. So again, I don't, you don't play politics. I think
Right.
politics is a good thing, but let's not play with it because you're
Well,
hurting people. You're hurting people.
well, that's the flavor of the day.
Oh,
Play.
I like that. Play
Yeah.
ball.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So the prayer has been offered for
Yes.
uh
Mashawn.
uh-huh.
Yeah, Keelan.
Marshawn Nealon. Yes. Okay. So we've prayed, and we will continue to pray for his family. Like you were saying, if the media would give them a chance to grieve, not hound them. But we know the media, that's a competition too.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
too is, you're
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely right.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
can't.
Okay, our next is Marjorie Taylor Greene visited The View on, I think it was Tuesday, and it was such a great visit for all of them.
Mm,
And I enjoyed it. I made it a point to watch The View that day, and they were cordial with each other. They had great discussions, and what she said, uh, that people wanted her to go on to the show and just rip them apart, all kinds of old memes
how she
of stuff.
normally reacts to things.
Yeah, and she said she was not going to do that, and of course some people were upset at her because she wouldn't do it. And then of course when she said that on The View, then one of them on The View, one of them said, "Now there are five of us."
Five against the one, not a good not a good
But anyway, it was very cordial, and it was great. And she was saying that it's a good thing that they could sit down together, she and they could sit down together and discuss what's happening. And she also said, whatever's going on, she said, it's America first to her. And then she also said, she still thinks Trump is a great person. She likes him and everything. But she stayed, they all were civil. It was really nice. And I really am happy about that because I believe they can all work together. And I believe that eventually she and Congresswoman Crockett are going to team up and do some great things together. I really believe that.
Well, I didn't see the episode, but I
Mhm.
did read the review. And
Mhm.
from the review I read, I agree with you. I She does truly believe in America first, and she did recently. Well, actually, she was one of the first ones to come and talk about the health care benefits.
Mhm.
You know, as a Republican woman, she's saying, "Hey, look, I just got this letter from my relative, and his benefits are going ha ha ha." So she made the point that Democrats are trying to make. You know,
Right.
these premiums are going to go out of going to go back high, and there's so many people who don't remember what that was like before Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act. They,
Right.
we have a whole generation, a couple of them out there who don't remember that, but I do remember when it was really high. Um, so I think something, you gotta think in terms of. We just talked about the aging process. You got to think in terms of what's good for everyone. And if I give her kudos for that, and I give her kudos for going to the View
Right.
and saying she enjoyed herself. So, I mean,
Yeah, it was nice. And
we
I
just
yeah, and I felt it was going to be just like it was too, because they all want this thing settled, and they want it settled in favor of the people. And she even mentioned, why don't they stop having, and you know what they say, they use the P word, but the urinating contest.
yes, yes, I understand that part of it, but she's right. Um,
Yes.
to be honest with you, that big ugly bill should have included that.
Boy, I
It
tell
should have
you, but
included it should have included the healthcare situation. And
yes,
and, and I raised one eye up and said, okay, you guys really didn't read that bill. You really didn't, because if you had, you would have, I know anything with 1,000 pages, near 1,000 pages, nobody's gonna read it. They just want to say yay or nay to it and move on. But this time, let's get the yay and nay right.
yeah, because
And
they usually, oh, excuse me, please.
oh no, I was done.
They usually have their
A.
office aides
Mhm.
to read it, and certain ones read different sections, I'm pretty sure. But then in the meantime, while they're reading, somebody else is sticking something else in there.
Into it, and
Mhm.
then you wind up with what we have now. And it
Yes,
shouldn't
ma'am.
be that kind of contest.
Right,
These are
but
grown people. You tell children to work it out. Well, the same could be said for the grown people. Sit down and work this out,
and
because we're near
yes,
we're getting close to 40 days, and that's ridiculous. And we're talking no food, no good transportation situation going on. And you know
right.
let's just be adults, because we're not being adults now. We're being
Well,
bullies on the playground. That's what we are.
yep, but they think it's being adult. They think it is, but it's just it's a terrible situation, but it will be worked out. It will be worked out, I guarantee. And we think that uh, everything, because it's negative right now, but that negativity is going to turn into positivity. So they really don't. Those who are doing this and meaning it for evil and for harm for everybody else is going to turn into a good thing. A good thing.
I'm smiling because I just thought about Paul's conversion on the
Uh,
road to Damascus. You know, I mean, a persecutor turned into a prophet almost.
yes.
So if that can be done by the man in charge, and I'm not talking about 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, if that can be done for a person like Paul, you know,
Mhm.
it can
Oh,
be
yes.
done. It can be done here.
If it can be done, but to us, to me, I'll take it personally. Thank
No,
you,
no,
Lord.
you can do it with us. We'll take the us.
Okay. Dallas, Texas, and the ICE money offer. Yeah, did I do my number one? Yeah, Marjorie Taylor. Yeah. It would have required. And the reason that the police chief, and I admire him
Me too.
for standing on his own too and rejecting it, but in like that overshadowing influence is trying to trickle down to here, but they haven't made the decision yet. But then this thing, it would have required, and it still requires, that the officers here in Dallas, now they have a job now that they can hardly keep up with, because if they come over here where I am, they'd have a time stopping these people that are going down this street like they are on, and I'm not exaggerating, like they are on, was it 35? Driving that fast down through this neighborhood. They don't have, they can't spread out where they can just, be in 2 or 3 places at one time. So why try to put this responsibility on them? Why? They would have to arrest 50 suspected, and this is the way I word it, 50 suspected undocumented people
A day.
per day,
Yes.
per day. And that's that 2287G program, right? That's
Right.
287G program. Have to be obligated to arrest, and I say suspected people.
Yes. Because recently they've made the news by getting persons who were not.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Right.
I agree with you. I agreed with him to begin with, and it was yesterday when he went
Me
back
too.
before city council, and he's explaining, and it bothered me because he explained it before, and
Right.
the you mentioned that the number of arrests that would have needed to occur, but he also said it would destroy the trust building that you know the police department is working so hard to do with
Yes.
just the citizens of the city. You know,
Yes.
because there was a time, when the popo was coming. I mean, they were not our friends. So,
Right.
what he's pointing out is when you start taking this money, like some of the other, they're like some cities have already taken it. You get money to hire those, but the additional policemen. But guess
Yes.
what? They're not going to help with the nature of the police work that the people of the city really want done. They're here
Right.
just as really secondary ICE agents. And I
Right.
think it was right not to take it. I really do.
Exactly.
There's a
Mhm.
high cost of money, you know.
Yes.
There's a real high cost to taking money. And I understand Mayor Johnson, I understand his ideology and his idea of money in the budget. But who's being helped by that? He talked about the response time.
Mhm.
That would cut. Everybody's complaining about the response time. You
Right.
did it. You did it in a very nice way. But most people are saying, "Hey, I called an hour ago. You didn't get here yet."
Mhm.
Um, so why complicate that when you're supposed to be spending a lot of time to fix that situation?
Right.
You know,
Th-
becoming part of ICE is not what these people signed up for.
Right.
And again, we talked about the divisions that have been caused by some of the ideas, the political ideas going on.
Right.
We I know some people say, okay, we wanted these people deported, but then you're deporting my grandmother, you're deporting my favorite aunt. They didn't
Right.
think it through. They didn't think it through.
Right.
You know, when you give permission for that and you have someone who's over it, who seems to have absolutely no conscience at all.
Right.
I'm going to do what I was told to do, and I don't even want him to tell me not to do it. I'm enjoying
Right.
doing. I'm like, you got a mad person working for you.
Right. And they're offering the SWAT officers, what is that, $45,000
Yes,
extra
yes,
something? Yes. It's terrible. And you spoke about the relationship between the citizens and the police department and the police officers. We had a decent relationship, and some still do. And I remember when you remember with the SWAT team, the man Daddy SWAT,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I remember years ago. Usually sometimes now people probably start running, especially if their skin is a little has
Yeah.
a brown
That,
tone,
that little melanin in that
a
skin.
different hue to it. But then I remember they passed down this street, and so one of the little girls said, "That's Daddy SWAT, Daddy SWAT." They didn't start running the other way, afraid. They were running toward because they saw Daddy SWAT. And that the relationship had to be built through
Right.
time where they wouldn't be afraid and run the other way. That is what, yeah, run, run, run. And we know how that kind of stuff happens too. And so now that is happening again.
Yes. And I
Yes, it
think
is.
some people are enjoying that negative situation.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not what we need. This is not one of those situations where we can divide and conquer. We actually need to unify, you know,
Right.
against things that are not good for us.
But when you give people that power over other people, having power, it's easy to abuse that power.
Yes,
It's
yes,
easy, and that's what's happening these days. Some people care not, as long as they tell me to get somebody that looks like you, that doesn't look like a Caucasian, and we think you're not, then you got to go. And that's what they are doing. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, but all of this is going to be rectified because it's going to turn around and start hitting home.
yes.
And I'm pretty sure some of it is already
Well,
because
it's not good, and we're gonna pray for the resolution there. We're gonna actually pray for asking for redemption and forgiveness too.
oh yeah, I already am. That's part of my part of my prayer routine. Praying for everybody, even the ones that are initiating all of these things that are against the people and that are negative things. I'm praying for them too, that they will see the light before it's too late and be able to adjust themselves. And so, hey, it's got to come. A change is gonna come.
Oh
And
yes,
it's inevitable that change comes. And so what do they say? What goes around
comes
comes
around.
around.
Yeah,
And
we
they say karma is not a good thing to have to deal with.
no. Well, we won't use the street term.
It's
Common.
not a good thing to have to deal with. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Oh yes, we're doing so well today. I like these. I like these. So next, you did comment on that, right? I just want
Yes, I did.
okay.
Yeah.
Next,
It's okay to have the money, but you really don't have the money. It looks good in your budget line, but it's not
right,
helping the citizens of Dallas.
right,
Not at all.
right. The U.S. government shutdown. This is the 38th day, the longest day in the story of the United States of America. But so the Senate today is voting on a new approach to end the shutdown,
Yes.
but it's not known if the Democrats will vote for it. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything when I
I,
inquired about this. He said that they are going to vote. So have you heard it? Have they voted yet?
uh, that was the last thing I heard also, that they would be
Okay.
going in for the vote today. But they are very adamant about, we still don't have what we asked for. We're
Right.
still, healthcare is still the thing. What happens is they don't trust the other side, you know.
Right.
And several of them, I've listened to their interviews, and they're basically saying, if we could trust them, we go ahead and do what they're asking. We'd open back up the government, and but we feel that if we open back up the government, we'll never get this done. They'll just continue and bring up something new to replace, what we're trying to do.
Well, it's the
But
truth. The
it,
record speaks for itself.
that they're saying past actions. They're not
Right,
stupid. Past actions
right.
have proven that if we don't solve this in this manner, they'll
It
just
will.
roll over us because they have the numbers to do so. Roll
Right,
over. I,
right,
I'm sorry. Don't throw me off with the Epstein papers. I could care less. I'm sorry.
right.
I'm sorry it happened. And I, again, I pray for the victims thereof. And I'm just waiting for him to give him a pardon to Giselle because that's coming. It's just coming because you know. But let's focus on things like these food lines. Let's focus on the lack of after school snacks, but they're being filled in by people in the community. Little
Mm-hmm.
kids need to carry that little snack thing home with them,
Right.
because I know them. I used to hear them say, "Well, can I have a second one for my little sister or little brother?"
Mm-hmm.
Kids love they love their family members.
Yes,
That's not
yes,
their job. That
yes.
that hurt me then. It still hurts me now. So that's not what they're supposed to be doing. Checking the food situation. So
Right.
if you're going to do it, you have to figure out a way to force them to handle the situation once the government opens back up.
Right.
'Cause I agree with you, Pastor Shirley. I don't think they would keep their word. I really
Well, of
don't.
course not.
I don't think they
No,
can.
they won't.
I'd
And
like to think so, but they
when people, what do they say? When they show you who they are, believe them.
yes.
Especially when they don't mind just saying something that's not true, and they know that you know it's not true. They know it's not true, but it doesn't phase them to say it.
No. And they will say it in big capital letters, and the media will pick it up and re-say it. You know, we're not
Oh yes.
accomplishing anything.
But everybody have faith, have faith, have faith, have
Yes.
faith, because a change is coming, and it's coming in favor of the ones who are in need of favor. All
I like
right. So we go to the, what did you say, Dr. Matt?
I like that. It comes to the ones who are in need of favor. I
In
like
need of favor. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And some people who are on the other side of this, of the other side of the coin, who are doing the harm, they're going to realize that they need favor too. They
yes.
they just don't realize it now, but it's going to come when they're going to feel it. Because I believe that what is it? What does it say? Do unto others as you would them do unto
To
you.
you.
Because and judge not that you be not judged, for with that same judgment ye shall also be judged. So I take that as, whatever you do to someone else is coming back.
Yeah, well, mine that I would add to your list is
Uh-huh.
as a man thinketh in his heart, so
So that's
is
right.
he.
So is he. Yes, right. So when they show you who they are, believe them the first time, because you might not get a second chance to believe.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. So the Dallas sports scene. Let's talk about that. I looked at this, and I was the Dallas Cowboys are 3-5-1. They have with 3 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie.
Yeah.
But their playoff chances, they said, only 8%.
Not happening. Who knows though? Who knows?
They might come on out of it, but they just got the young man. I cannot. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Oh my goodness. You're Alexa
I hear her.
telling
But
his
they
time.
just received a big defensive player.
Yes. Yes, and so he'll help us out. And of course Leon Lett just died, didn't he?
Yes.
He just
I heard
died.
that. Yes.
Yes, sure did. And there's some more who have passed away, transitioned also. But anyway, I was looking at this, and the Cowboys are 3-5-1. They're 8% chance of the playoffs. The Mavericks are two. They have a 2-6 record, and they say this is a tough season for them, and they're 30th in the NBA, 30th ranked 30, and so but they're dealing with Kyrie Irving's, Anthony Davis's, Dante Exum, and
Yeah.
Derek Lively twos. they call them twos, but the second, I guess that's what it is. Their injuries, and then they said this effect of them trading Luca causes them to have a roster imbalance also, and so they're having some problems, and they have the worst offense in the NBA. That's not good.
No, but all of that, and we have such a rich supply of sports person, sport teams and
Yes.
sport personalities. To again, we're sort of blessed to be in Dallas. So when the Mavericks and the Stars go to court, hopefully they too can sit down
Oh
and
my
talk it
goodness.
out. They can
Yes.
talk it out. But I think the Cowboys, if they just play for play, and Jerry keeps his comments to himself, that'll be great. And if they, if the Mavericks will take a look at the players they had before they got the number one draft choice, the person who's, what is he, 19 or will be 19?
Mhm.
Um, soon,
Okay.
just as they used to say, they sort of remember the dance with the ones that brung them,
Mhm.
before, don't rely so heavily on the new guy. He has to first learn to be a team player, you know.
Yes.
So just be patient, continue to support him, you know. I watched
Right.
a greater portion of the game when they played the New Orleans Pelicans the other day than I normally would have watched the Mavericks. But just, it's going to work itself out.
Oh,
The,
it
the,
always
city,
does.
the city deserves winners. It does.
Yes, and we have the personnel to do it. They just have
Yeah,
to just
we
keep
do.
on doing, because there's a time and a season for everything, and we know that
There you
everything rotates. It goes around and around, so they'll come back around. And the Dallas Stars are 7-4-4, and they have four overtime losses. They have 7 wins, 4 losses, 4 overtime losses. They're rated 6 out of 8 teams in our division, so they're
And
man.
remember, they go to division play almost every year.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
right.
they just fired the coach that took them there.
Right.
They have a new coach, and the stats for the Dallas Wings, well, they were at the bottom.
Mhm.
Although the city is going to spend all that money to build a practice area and
Mhm.
all of that, but just know that we have such good teams, and
Right. They'll come around.
we'll get there. I
That's
don't
right.
ever remember being in a city where every team won.
At the
I do
same
want
time.
to congratulate right. I do want to congratulate the Los Angeles Dodgers for playing some of the longest games in World Series, but also for winning the series. So
All right.
Texas Rangers are coming. They're coming again.
Oh, yes. And so these national elections, we are I'm happy about the results of some of those. And then we have the Supreme Court, and the simplest question, do you trust them? No, I don't.
No,
I don't trust them. I
I,
don't have
I would like for them to just surprise us all, and make a ruling that's right. Not a
right.
political ruling, but a ruling based on what the
Mhm.
Constitution says.
But
We're
yeah, they were chosen according to politics, and so it's just that a certain political
I
uh,
know.
thing had the
They've been known to change.
advantage, but it's yeah. So I don't truly trust them, and I think they stay in there too long,
Yeah,
and they need to change out
I
at
agree.
least, if not every 4 years, every 6 years, change them, rotate, get them out of there.
Well, I
So
also
anyway.
think Congress should have time limits. I think, no disrespect, but look how long John Cornyn has been um, representing the state of Texas. That's a
Mhm.
long time, you know, and you don't even have to think of how he's going to vote because you know already.
Well, not only John Cornyn now.
Well, I just thought about him because
Yeah,
I met him once, and
right.
when you meet somebody, you form an opinion. You only have a couple of seconds,
Yeah,
and
because
I,
yeah,
uh, I, I didn't get a good feeling, as it were.
Uh-huh. Yes. So anyway, and then over that was our present state. We're in some trouble here. And then what do you think about our present state here in the United States?
I think we have never been where we are, and the other countries don't know how to accept us. And I understand it's a policy change, a worldview change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what it was. We're not caring about others, but we still have to remember to start here at home first. You
Right,
know,
exactly.
we shouldn't be over telling other folks what to do when we have such a mess here at home.
Right. And then attacking other people's countries, and
No,
it's all to be able to get to their resources.
absolutely
That's
right.
what it's all about. And it's yeah, world domination is a goal, but it will never happen. Not
No.
on this end. So yes, and then the Tesla, Elon Musk's
Yes.
trillion-dollar
Your
performance.
favorite person who's a trillionaire now.
And you know what? I am glad because people, when they put in the work, they deserve the pay,
He
and
puts in the work.
it's performance based too. And so he has a goal that he has to fulfill in order to get all of this. But I'm glad they approved it. I really am. I really am because, and I've always thought about that. Like corporations, I used to think about people should not be restricted on their finances if they uh, started a corporation or a business or
Yeah,
something.
I
They
am.
shouldn't be restricted, but then people with these businesses, because they spent certain monies that, now some people have misused it, you know what I'm saying, and went overboard on it. But I'm glad because he didn't found it. The two founders, they have nothing else to do with it now, but
Right,
he came in and he made great strides with the company,
right.
and so I think he deserves it. So hey, Elon, you better hear me. You
I'm thinking of what you called him. So
better.
we won't call him that. When you have $1 million, we can't call you nothing.
Wow, Elon, I'm really glad for it because he deserves it. Because they say, from what I gathered, from what I searched out and everything, he turned that company into where it is today.
Yeah,
Into
he did.
gave, and so yeah, I'm glad he's getting that. And then he's associated, like here in Texas too. I might ride down there to that town of his. If they
And
let
it is,
me in, they might not let me in.
and look at, it is his too.
Yes.
We don't make no mistakes.
They might not let me in.
Oh, he'll let you in.
All right, Dr. Mack has been wonderful, wonderful. I have really enjoyed today, as I always do. But it seems like today was extra super,
We
I
had
don't know,
so much.
enjoyable,
We
even
had
though
so much.
even though our topics are very serious and everything, but it's just wonderful. I enjoy this so much. And everybody, we thank you so much for being here with us, and leave your comments. However you feel, just leave those comments with us. We appreciate you. And we could get some, enlightenment from what you say.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so please just, feel free to comment. Feel free. So, Dr. Mack, your comments and your reminders, please.
Well, please join us on Wednesday for the webcast from the Biblical Files of Dr. Matt. We are, I believe we are in Second Kings, and we'll be talking about the uh, the widower of the prophet, and
Mm,
we'll be looking at some of the blacks in that particular book in the Bible. And we would like to encourage you, as Pastor Shirley said, to share your comments with us. And we're not trying to change minds, but we would like to know what you're thinking. And if there's a news occurrence, please share in advance, and we'll try and discuss it on here.
yes.
Pastor Shirley.
Yes, we will. And so everybody, this is Friday already. And so whatever day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, midday you're watching this, we're just so happy that you're here. But we want to remind you, like Dr. Mack said, on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time is from the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack. And you really want to tune into that on Wednesdays live at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time is Monday morning, 5 minutes of prayer. On Saturday at 7:39 p.m. It's Saturday evening Bible lesson session. On Sunday morning at 7 a.m. is Sunday morning manna from heaven. And that's the Greater Gospel Temple Church of Praise and Worship and Inspiration of God Ministry. So we love you so much and we really appreciate you. And like Dr. Mack said, I reiterate what she said. Send those comments in. And thank you so much for being with us. Love you, Dr. Mack.
Love you, Pastor Shirley.
Okay.
Love all of you who